Hey everyone, so as many of you already know, we do a lot of corporate work here at Opacity, and late last year, a new project came our way that was very different than all the others that we do. It's actually for a museum exhibition out in Abbotsford. And this is a project we've been working on very hard throughout the year, but it really ramped up over the last few months, and especially the last couple of weeks. We actually had the grand opening last week on Friday. Along the way, I've been taking photos, and I thought this would be a perfect example to do a short little case study video just to show the behind the scenes details of what goes on for projects like this one. So if this interests you, I'll try to keep it short, but let's get started. The Reach heard of us through our art director, David, and David in his spare time works with the Reach to assist them with a lot of the exhibitions that they do. This new exhibition that they're working on is called Pardes, and it's all about the South Asian communities of the Fraser Valley and their history and culture. They have items, photographs, heirlooms, works of art, personal accounts, a lot of stories to tell. It's all based around the themes of migration, family, business, oppression, opposition, contemporary culture, etc. But the unique part about this exhibition is that a lot of the content that they're doing is storytelling, and it's done through documentary films, interviews and stories, but they also have some unique content, and that content would be like databases of images, or newspaper scans, for example, and different types of ways that they want to display content that they haven't done before. So from our real estate projects, we have a lot of experience with touchscreens, and we often do them in sales centers so that you can browse floor plans or view photo galleries, and they're often embedded into the walls like you see there. The challenge, though, is that these televisions 20 years ago were very expensive. Like, they were pushing $20,000 each, and we can't do this for a local museum. We can't have like $10 or $20,000 televisions. So we had to explore a much cheaper alternative. So here's a summary of all the challenges that we had in our hands. Our touchscreens must be affordable. They need to be reliable, easy to develop, easy to use for the people in the museum. They need to be able to handle both simple video playing and complex applications. They also have to support many sets of headphones, not just one, and they have to be available in a range of sizes. And the solution that we found was called a Viewsonic Viewboard. Turns out these are incredible televisions. They're barely thicker than a normal TV. They're barely heavier than a normal TV, but they have full touch capabilities, basically like an iPad, swiping, tapping, dragging. Even multiple people at the same time can use it. And it supports HDMI input, which means we can run our own hardware in behind. But most importantly, a 55-inch is only $2,000. That's incredible. As I mentioned earlier, these screens used to push $10,000, $20,000. So a 55-inch at only $2,000 is incredible value. To run the software in behind the televisions, we decided to use Brightsigns. And Brightsigns are very common in the signage world. They're often used in restaurants, for example, to display menus on the televisions. But the latest Brightsigns have a lot more advanced capabilities, including HTML5 content, meaning that we can build web-based applications that display properly on the touchscreens. So we ordered one, we tested it with the Viewboard, it passed all the tests, though it's not the most powerful device because it's not a full-size computer, but it was able to achieve the tasks that we wanted it to. So with the Viewboards tested, the Brightsigns tested, it was time to place our order. We ordered 14 Viewboards, mounts, we ordered the 14 Brightsigns to go in behind, 28 sets of headphones, cables, accessories, memory cards, basically all the hardware, because it's our job to handle all aspects of the hardware installation. From the software side, we started developing the actual interface that would go on the television. So here's an example of one of the video play screens where the users can select from one of 4 different languages. Most importantly on these televisions though, we had to create our own player because we needed the buttons to be big and puffy to be used in a touchscreen way. The previous player that is default in HTML is very small and tiny and just didn't work in a touchscreen environment, so we decided to just create our own. On the screen behind me is a woman using one of our more complex applications. This is the Baltej Singh Dhillon timeline. You'll notice the year 2019 on the top left-hand corner. Well, using this kiosk, you can browse year by year to see the story of Baltej behind me. He was the first police officer in Canada to wear a turban. And while you can read the story, more importantly, all of the documents, all of the newspaper clippings and press headlines that came in and letters to the editor of the community feedback that came in when this story broke. Unfortunately, there's a lot of racism he faced, but at the same time, there was support from various members of the community, and you really see a balanced story of what he went through during that time period, which was pretty crazy for me to read while we were developing this. So with our software complete and our hardware received, it was now installation time, and we had to wait for a specific time period because we have to wait for the previous exhibit to be taken offline and fresh coats of paint go up. And then we would come in during a 2-week period or so before the next exhibition goes live. So we handled all aspects of this ourselves. So our team members were there. We did all of the hardware installation, all the television mounting, all the headphones, all the hardware testing, all the internet connections, etc., etc. And we even had to develop some custom solutions for some of the more tricky kiosks that needed more of a podium style interface. So we were invited to come to the grand opening event, which was a fantastic evening. There was a great turnout. Most importantly, though, I got to stand around and watch people use the actual software and hardware that we installed. And to be honest with you, my heart rate was going like 150 beats per minute for the entire time because I was so nervous. But luckily, we had great reactions from everyone. Everything turned out fantastic. There weren't any problems that evening. And it was really nice to listen in on conversations while people were actually saying like, wow, I can't believe they have this kind of content here. So that was really nice to hear. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you do want to learn more, I invite you to come down to the Reach in Abbotsford. This exhibition runs until May of 2024. Thank you very much.